Namaste, my dears. Well, I had yesterday a psychedelic mushroom ceremony which I was hosting, and every ceremony it's very unique. To organize a professional ceremony, it takes at least 10 years of experience and practices. I'm in this past 15 years, and every ceremony it's super unique. And yesterday's ceremony it really reminded me of an important thing that many people don't know when they're starting their healing work, transformational work, or even work with medicine plants. What are the natural levels through and phases through which the body will go through? So, um, one of the most basic things that when we are consuming any medicine plants or we're doing any spiritual practices that increase our level of energy, we start, once we have inside of a lot of energy, our consciousness starts to rise up. But at the same time, for the consciousness cannot rise if there are any type of blocking or there's any type of pain that is stuck in the body, any type of traumas. So that reason, the body, it's very genius. It knows that if it gets any extra energy, the first thing that it will do, it will try to heal the most core things. So what does it mean? The moment you start to work with a medicine plant, doing spiritual practices, or for example, you met for a mushroom ceremony, an ayahuasca ceremony, the first thing that will happen with you, if you didn't do spiritual practices before, that there will happen a healing process. This healing process, what does it do? So the frequency, it usually rises if the shaman is right and the medicine is correct and your focus of consciousness is correct. This increases your frequency. Through increasing your frequency, every frequency that doesn't collide with it, it starts to fall off. And this restructuring can happen on multiple levels. For example, when I'm working with myself, as I'm doing this work for a lot of time, I can do it with my own consciousness and decode it. So I can literally just put it away as a form of energy. I can transform my physical, emotional, and mental bodies. But this is a huge amount of practice. In the beginning, all starts that when you have something to transform, or you understand what you need to transform, and then you can start to transform it through your own consciousness. But if you don't understand what you need to transform, and it starts, then as your consciousness cannot give the energy for this codes to transform, this codes start to come out physically. What means physically? That a person will start to feel himself bad. So let's say the vibration rises, all of the low vibration codes are falling off. The falling off of codes cannot happen if the person doesn't understand and doesn't allow it to happen. Then the body reacts. The body protection mechanism that when such codes are coming out, the most easy way is you would start to laugh. That is beautiful. But in many cases, people start to vomit. They start to shake. They start to go through a very intense physical experience through which their body is just like shaking. It's like throwing up. It's taking everything out of that stressed and suppressed energy which was stuck inside. So this is what you have to know, what is very natural, that when you are starting your spiritual journey and you know you had a hard lifetime and you have gathered a lot of problems and issues in your life for other people or for yourself, eventually all of this is upon you. And so to let go of it, you have to literally first to allow yourself to let go of everything that you were carrying. This process can be not so pleasant, and as a result, if you have an experience under medicine plants, magical mushrooms, or you're starting Amanita Muscaria, just know that in the beginning, your body will try to go from this minus point to 0 point. So imagine 0 point, you feel neutral. Minus point is you feel bad. So when you feel bad first, what your body tries to make, it brings you to the 0 point. To get you to the 0 point, it needs to clean you, it needs to give you energy, it needs to transform certain things. And this, until you get to this zero level, this can take a while. So the more sick and the more dirty is the body and the consciousness of the person, the more time it will take. Because to start to unite with your consciousness with the higher forms and realms, for that you need a very good working brain and avatar. The flow of energy is so strong that you simply won't have the capacity to hold this energy. And comparison is, imagine that you are watching reality or playing a game with 16-bit or let's say 36 kilobyte design graphics. So, and then one of the sudden, then comes such a string which is 1028 graphic, and then 4K resolution comes. So for how much you need to increase the capacity of the working, let's say, television, or that is showing the screen, that it would change its capacity of allowing to flow down energy, and not 16 kilobytes, not 32 kilobytes, but 1,000 or 4,000 or even more. So for this to happen, of course, you need to clean yourself. You have to prepare yourself, that's why I always give yourself time and space for it. Yesterday, I had this exactly flow when there was such a huge amount of attachments. There were even curses. There were no a lot of really a lot of different attacks made. This person is very special and had a lot of public work done in his country and business likewise. So eventually, on such people, there is usually a huge amount of attacks. And through that, it's a process of cleansing. You cannot jump up to seeing the reality in 4K resolution until you won't cleanse yourself. So that's why always give yourself time and space for this to happen. Would it be with Amanita? Would it be with any medicine plant or your transformational work? Give yourself time and space to cleanse. And don't judge yourself while you're doing it. Everything that comes out of you, everything what you change, this is a victory. And with every small such cleanse, you becoming free and free and free. And eventually it will happen just in a very natural point once your physical, emotional, and mental bodies will cleanse themselves through your work practices and observation. You will start to feel yourself a lot more present, a lot more focused, a lot more happy, and this will open up for you the opportunity to really go to the next levels of your consciousness, when you will start to change the perception of viewing of this reality. Very few people understand that the greatest tool and gift that we have, it's our avatar and our consciousness. And if you will train yourself to work with the consciousness, you can blend reality, because this reality is being created inside of the neurons of your brain. So if you transform your neurons, if you focus on developing a more higher state of consciousness, through this you can change the perception of reality. And even being in one reality, you can be in a totally different place. Or being in one place, people would see absolutely different realities. It was only based on your level of energy, your level of consciousness, and spiritual development. You have absolutely different visions of reality. But I told you, somebody sees this reality in 16-bit or 32-bit resolution, and somebody is playing on 4K resolution or more. The change is huge. And people who are playing 16 and 32-bit, they cannot imagine what is 4K resolution. People who are playing 4K resolution, they have absolutely no interest in going down back to the people who are playing the 1632-bit game. And this is the thing why people who start a spiritual path, and once they get their personal life experience, there's no interest of going back, because there's nothing in this realm but could offer you more than your own consciousness and God, your own godly creation. It opens the biggest mysteries, it opens the biggest secrets, the biggest powers, the biggest adventures, the biggest rewards, everything. Everything is being opened when you focus on God and discovery of Him. So, for of that reason, have the whole confidence that once you start your spiritual transformational work, in the beginning there will be a phase when you will have to deal with your problems, you will have to deal with your that you have gathered in your life. You will have to clean it all away. You'll have to transform it all away. It won't be pleasant. In many cases, very often it goes through cleansing different type of processes from physical, emotional, and mental. But this is the path. This is the way. You're not alone, and every true seeker has done this work upon themselves. Yes, it takes time, but the reward, that's actually the only reward that might matter to you, to other lifetime. It's eventually what we take away from this life. It's not the physical results, but all of those spiritual victories that we have created inside of ourselves and in our lives, and that experience that we have lived through. So, well, the only reason why we need this matter is to get experience. And if you're in connection with God and focus on spiritual path, you can trust me. You're gonna have definitely a very interesting flow of life experience and development and discovery, just like in an epic quest. So, of that reason, I inspire all of you to be yourself, to give yourselves time and space for transforming, and knowing that everything what you need always lies inside of you. And know that any cleansing, any transformation, it's part of the spiritual work and development. And does it end this eternal transformation? Yes. And partly, there will always something be new, but you will have better and better tools with a more safer, loving way to take care of yourself. So keep up the development, and if you want to find out something more in details, just write in the comments what you want to find out, or maybe the challenge that you're going through right now. And let's have a discussion. Which tools, for example, have helped you the most to overcome your most hardest points of transformation? Namaste, and always in touch.